which we live. But it's good to see each and every one of you. Let me give you a couple of announcements, and then we'll get started with the play. The actors are in place, so we are going to be having a brief, well, not too brief, it's up to you, question and answer after the production. So make a pleasant statement about where you are as the play ends and engage some of them with questions you may have. We're going to be seeing The Ends We Seek, Ethan Norman's play, and you may have some questions you want to raise to him even about the play. After the question and answer, our ladies have fixed a reception. I thought it was going to be in the music room, but it's downstairs, immediately under the auditorium here where you're seated. Go out this door, take a left, take another left, go downstairs, take another left, go downstairs, take a right, go down another stair. Follow the crowd. That's the best advice I have to give you concerning that. As you know, this is a free presentation, and in part is funded by the Tennessee Arts Commission, and we give them thanks for the support they give to the word players and to the arts in the state of Tennessee. There is no admission charge, but if you want to donate to the word players, we will have a bucket over here. We hope it's filled with money, but you may give as you wish as a love offering after the play is over. I believe those were the things I jotted down. Welcome to our beautiful sunset through our stained glass windows. This is a precious time, and enjoy the play.
Now, this sort of thing didn't only happen in the South, but it happens to be the plantation where Mama and her son Jim live. So here we go.
Ha! Made it to base. I almost had you, Jim. Almost nothing. You weren't even close. I was, too. I was just a couple steps behind you. Well, you may be able to do a lot of things, but catching me ain't one of them. I guess you're right. Bet I could be in an arm wrestling contest. Oh, you're on. Oh, again. Well, it's only because I'm left-handed. You want to go again? No. That's what I thought. What's the matter, Will? Nothing. Come on. You can tell me. I don't feel like talking. Well, we're best friends, so you have to tell me. You mean that? Yeah. I can't do nothing. Well, that's not true. Yes, huh? I'm slow. I can't talk good as you. Nobody cares about people being able to talk. Heck, most of the time, I just get told to shut up. And you ain't slow. I never catch you. That don't mean you're slow. It just means that I'm super fast. I guess you are pretty fast. And just because I beat you in arm wrestling doesn't mean you ain't strong. And I bet you could lift this stuff up with your bare hands and throw it across the photography. Now you're just being silly. Now come on, there's gotta be something you're really good at. I don't know. I'm learning to play the piano. See? I definitely can't do that. I've seen that thing through the window when I snuck up close to your house. It's kind of scary. Oh, I know. I'm real good at hiding. Yeah? Definitely. Sometimes when I'm hiding from Daddy, he'll go all day without finding me. Whew. Your daddy can be pretty scary. So, since you're good at hiding, I guess that means that I'm in first. What? 1, 2, 3, Jim. 4, 5.
Jim! What are you doing close to this house? How many times have I told you?
Ah, you made me lose count. No, never mind.
Find who?
Will, we're playing hide and seek.
You come on with me right now.
But Mama, I want to play.
Boy, hush your mouth and come with me.
But why can't we play? We finished our chores.
You know you can't be playing with Master's son.
But why?
Jim, we're going to have to talk about this later. Right now, I need you to listen and obey. William, honey, Jim's going to have to be going home now. Best not tell your daddy about this. Okay, sweetheart? Yes, ma'am.
But Mama,
Hold up. Rewind that.
William, honey, Jim's going to have to be going home. Best not tell your daddy about this. Okay, sweetheart?
Yes, ma'am. But Mama,
Oh, Pete. What's going on?
We don't know.
Yo, is it the money? No. Because King talks money? No. Is it because you never win?
Nah, think again.
The color of his skin?
Oh, say that so.
We got a home in the break with a history of slavery.
Okay.
Taking this from the masses and giving it to the Texans. We gotta be the same way we throw rocks and call people names.
What?
And nobody games.
Violence is timeless, it's everywhere for sure. So why does violence ever really lead to a cure? We keep waiting for the world to change itself. Why we act like each of us is just a book on the shelf? So like Mr. Smith said when he went to D.C.
What?
Literally shouldn't be buried in books, so sing with me. What's going on?
We don't know.
Is it the money? No. Because the king talks on it.
No.
Is it because you never win?
Nah, think again.
The color of his skin?
Oh, say that so.
The laws have something to do with liberty, but they ain't gonna be what makes America free. We gotta turn us to you and me. The way we treat each other makes the land of the free. If you're beginning to see, let's sing the chorus again. What's going on?
We don't know.
Yo, is it the money? No. Because the king talks money.
No.
Is it because he never wins?
Nah, think again.
The color of his skin?
Oh, say that so.
Come on, baby.
Bye, Will. Bye-bye.
Let's jump 100 years and see what progress we made as a country. Come with me to Montgomery, Alabama, where the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church just got themselves a new pastor. You might have heard of him. His name was Martin Luther King Jr.
This fall, there's no better place to be than Fun City Amusement Center. Bucket loads of fun and excitement for all ages with goofy golf and a 72-lane bowling alley. Come, see if you're brave enough for the Wild Mouse roller coaster. Or take a trip to the moon in a rocket ship featuring the latest in video technology. Oh. Taste the delicacies of our peanut brittle, cotton candy, and candy apples. Fun City, we put the fun in Montgomery. Whites only, pack restricted supply on Wild Mouse Road.
Well, I don't think our new pastor's going to be selling produce in front of the church. Though I don't see what was wrong with that. I like Reverend John's, and those tomatoes were good. Well, I'm just glad we found somebody. And let me tell you, that man can preach. Whoa. What? Well, I'm not going to answer that question. You're the one asking if our new pastor is handsome. Well, you'll just have to march yourself on down to Dexter Avenue Baptist Church and find out for yourself. Hold on. Just 1 minute. What is it, baby?
Mama, you gotta come see this commercial.
Is it on right now?
Yeah. Well, no, but it comes on every few minutes.
Well, I'm on the phone. You go back to watching your cartoons and let me know if it comes on again.
Okay.
Anyway, our new pastor's name is Reverend King. Martin Luther King Jr., soon to be Dr. King. Oh, he's from Georgia, but he did his residency at Boston University.
Mama! Mama, here it comes!
Here it comes. Hold on.
This fall, there's no better place to be than
Fun City! Woo!
Bucket loads of fun and excitement for all ages with goofy golf and a 72-lane bowling alley. Come, see if you're brave enough to Wild Mouse roller coaster. Or take a trip to the moon in a rocket ship featuring the latest in video technology.
So cool.
Taste the delicacies of our peanut brittle, cotton candy, and candy apples. Fun City, we put the fun in Montgomery. Whites only, pack restricted supply on the Wild Mouse Road.
See? Mama, my birthday's coming up. Can we go? Can we please? Can we go, Mama?
Honey.
Fun City. Fun City. It's all about my birthday. You don't have to give me anything else. I just want to go to Fun City.
Sit down there.
We don't even have to go for the whole day. We could just go right after lunch and stay till they close.
All right. Bobby, you can't go to Fun City.
Mom, I think I'm brave enough for the Wild Mouse roller coaster.
It's not that, sweetheart.
I can do yard work and help pay for it.
Lord, help me with this. Bobby, we can't go to Fun City because we're colored.
What?
Not everybody does the right thing. They are misguided. Well, you know how white folks can go certain places and blacks can go other places. Well, they make Fun City Amusement Center like that, so we can't go there. But not all white people are like that. Well, I know a few folk from our church that would love to have you over for a birthday party.
But why does Fun City have to be like that, Mama? What did we do to...
Oh, now you listen to me. You didn't do anything wrong. And you are just as good and as worthy as anyone who does get to go to Fun City. It's just because of other folk. You know, the ones that are misguided that you can't go there. It's not your fault. Our new pastor, Reverend King, he's going to fix that problem. You'll see. Now, I promise, you are going to have the best birthday ever this year. You understand?
No, I'm not.
Young man, I want you to put this out of your mind. It's like a vegetable. You got to finish before you leave the table. You just close your eyes, Swallow it and it'll be done. You hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you go back to watching your cartoons.
No, thank you.
What?
I don't want to watch cartoons anymore.
Okay.
They say time heals all wounds. Sounds nice, but it's not an excuse we can use. See, time lets things change, but it doesn't do the changing. You and I have got to do the rearranging. The way we think, the way that we speak, the way that we treat another person, even when we're on the brink of losing something that was never ours in the first place. Respect belongs to the whole human race. Yeah, a lot can happen in a short amount of time. Let's jump ahead to 1956 and see what time has done for Mama and Bobby.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where do you think you're going?
I gotta meet Ray and Tyrell.
I'm working on them. You don't need to go anywhere. You can call them and tell them to come here.
Mama, I have to go.
You can also tell them that you knew better than to say you could play in the middle of dinner time.
Tyrell don't got a phone.
Doesn't have a phone. He lives right next door to Ray, who does have a phone and can munch his little scrawny honey right. What do you hide?
Nothing, Mama.
Let me see.
I don't got. I'm not hiding anything.
Open your coat and let me see. What in God's name is that?
It's nothing.
Put it down.
Mama!
Put it down now. Sit down. Where were you three going with this? Answer me.
There's a mob getting together in Dr. King's neighborhood.
To do what?
To fight, Mama. Dr. King's house was bombed.
Yes.
You can't just...
I heard our pastor's house was bombed. I also heard that no one was hurt, and we are not to retaliate.
Somebody's got to do something.
You are a teenager. Even if that was the proper response, the only thing for you to do is pray and eat your dinner.
You can't honestly believe that just sitting around and letting them treat us like this is the right thing to do.
The Bible says, blessed are the persecuted.
Realize, Mr. Meek, he forgot to turn his other cheek.
Oh, don't you sass me. And don't you dare sass the Holy Bible.
Mama, when have you ever seen that stuff come true?
Well, when have you or any of your friends been man enough to give it a chance to? You know 100 years ago, it was a white man got elected president of the United States, a white man that did not own slaves and didn't think anyone else should either. They had a war over that matter, and his side won.
Yeah, and everyone in this part of the country has hated us ever since.
But you are not a slave.
You think that's good enough?
I think it's a step in the right direction. There is a right way and a wrong way to accomplish things. If you listen to your pastor Sunday, you would know that love is the most durable power. Maybe it's us that need to show them how to love, so we can live together on this earth.
Yeah, they bomb us. We hug them. Or maybe we should stand up to them and fight for our rights for a change.
Well, that's irrational thinking, son. You know the means must be as pure as the ends we seek.
Mama, we can't keep waiting for tomorrow.
You are absolutely right. Because you know what happens tomorrow.
What?
There will be a tomorrow where you will stand before your Maker. And he won't be impressed with how well you could aim when you threw something back at somebody that threw something at you. He won't be impressed with the trash that came flying out your mouth when somebody mouthed off to you. He won't be impressed with how strong you can fight back at every bullet. He's going to ask why you didn't love your enemies and pray for those who persecute. he just gonna say, no, Bobby. I created you to be man. And you went and became what the fool said you were. That's what tomorrow's gonna be. So instead of going out there and getting yourself killed for things God never intended you to do, why don't you go out there and show the world what God intended it to be like? Because tomorrow is not the same as someday. Someday is never for certain. But tomorrow, it will be here. The sun is going to go down, and when it comes up again, it will be tomorrow. You listening to me?
Yes, Mama.
Oh, baby, I don't like it either. Not one bit. I'm scared for my friends that are taking a stand. I don't want to wait around for things to change. Sometimes I wish I could just move away from this place. But it wouldn't change anything. Dr. King is right. The best way to stop waiting is to start being the ones who do things the right way.
But we never did things the wrong way. It isn't fair.
No, Bobby, it isn't. But someone's got to show the misguided folk what the right way is.
So what are we supposed to do?
Well, maybe you can write a letter to the local newspaper.
The advertiser don't care about what I have to
Stop
say.
interrupting. You could write a letter and say it was for the folks who bombed Dr. King's house.
Oh, this I gotta hear.
The letter could say something like, I forgive you.
What?
I'm not finished. I forgive you. And I feel sorry that you don't know how to be right with other folks. Then it could say something like, I pray that you can learn how other human beings are supposed to be treated, so that you don't end up sad and lonely and unhappy. If you come to our church, I'm sure we can teach you how to have more joy in your life.
Looks like time is not what's going to change things. People have to decide to change. Maybe we should go back 100 years and see what is happening on the plantation in the late 1850s.
Just in the field.
Whoa, son. What is that?
Oh, that's nothing, Mama.
Nothing don't bleed. Let me see. Who did this to you?
It's nothing.
Who did this? Black or white?
Black.
Well, tell me what happened.
They were talking bad about Will. I disagreed.
You disagree.
Look, Mama, I know you don't like Will, but you really...
Let me stop you right there. Now, I have always suggested that it would be safer for you and William to stay away from each other, even though you were friends. But I have never had a problem with William.
Always suggested.
Yes.
More like always chase me with that broom.
Oh, boy, I will hit you with this.
What is it, Mama?
It's just my body getting back at me.
Are you all right?
I'll be fine. Sit down. Let me talk to you for a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Guess it's better to have this talk sooner rather than later.
What?
I want you to listen. Just for a minute. Don't interrupt. I'm not going to be around much longer. I don't know how long. But I want you to promise me, when I'm gone, you'll get out You run away from this place.
Mama, that's crazy talk.
Kim, it's not crazy. It is not crazy. There's a woman. Tubman. Harriet Tubman. I want you to remember that name. She goes by other things too. The general. Moses. She comes around plantations like this and helps slaves run away to free states.
Mama, you know them are just stories folks make up to give us hope.
It is not made up, Jim.
Mama, come on. Nobody runs away from places like this and doesn't get caught. Folks make up them stories so they can feel like there's something out there, but guess what? We're still here. No one's ever seen a peg-leg Joe come around here singing some silly song to carry us to freedom with his magical powers and his one good leg. It's all a load.
Enough. Enough. I want you to hear me, son. I believe in two things. Jesus and freedom. I've never seen either with my own eyes, but I believe in my heart that they are real. You promise me, whenever I'm gone, be it tonight or 10 years from now, you find Harriet Tubman and you get to Ohio. You understand?
Yes.
Do you promise?
Yes.
Good. Come take this broom so I can dismiss.
Your mama was a good worker. Hard to lose someone close. Makes you think all kinds of irrational thoughts. You know what irrational means, boy?
Yes, Master.
What do I have to live for? What have I got to lose? You having those kinds of thoughts, boy?
No, sir. Just thinking about Mama.
Well, that's good to hear. Because I thought I saw something irrational in your eyes. Seen it before. Thinking about freedom.
Just my mama, sir.
Mm-hmm. What's your name again, boy?
Jim, sir.
Well, tell me, Jim. Just between you and me. You think you'll be free someday? It's all right, you can answer. It's just between you and me.
Yes, sir. I do.
I thought you might. And just how do you imagine that freedom will come about?
Abraham Lincoln.
See, that's where you're wrong. Maybe you heard some hearsay that President Lincoln is against slavery. Well, lots of folks are. And they all sitting down, comfortable, eating a nice meal. And for a moment, they're saying, oh yeah, slavery, if only something could be done. And that's all they'll ever do. Why, I might be against slavery myself, but I have a responsibility to my family and this community. And they know if we set you free, why, this whole part of the country goes broke. Ain't no president going to risk economic meltdown just to do the right thing. Why, there'd be an all-out war. Abraham Lincoln. They might grow corn where he's from, but his clothes are made out of cotton. You understand what I'm saying, boy?
Yes, sir.
Now, I just wanted to save you some trouble, because you're a good, strong boy. The only way this is going to go all right for you is if you buckle down, work hard, and do what's expected of you. I'd hate to be the one that kills you if you try to run away. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, you may think your skin will give you some kind of stealthy advantage running in the dark of night. But I can see the whites of your eyes from a long way off. And I can put something right between them. Just so you know. Sorry about your mom.
God in heaven, or wherever you are, I don't know what you want from me, but I can't stay here no more. If you are true, like my mama say, you get me out of here. You get me out of here, and I'll believe. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be free.
Think about tomorrow, that it's going to come our way. It's our responsibility to not mistake it for someday. It's when you're caught in the sunrise, you won't be able to disguise. The day is upon you. Tomorrow has come true. Y'all keep saying someday, while we wait for the world to change. So quick to throw some shade.
So quick to throw some shade.
We treat kindness like it's strange. Maybe it is. If it's the only way, maybe instead of us and them, we can start seeing you and me.
Stop waiting for change. And draw a circle on the ground and step inside. And say, I'll be the first to change my mind. And go walk away.
shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday.
Amen.
Amen. Come on, Dr. King.
I love honesty in children. In a recent interaction, a child came up to me and said, "Sir, are you a doctor or a king? Everybody says that you are both, but I'm having a hard time believing it." It was a little white boy, and he did not look up at me in disgust or in fear, because in his childlike honesty, he did not yet know that he was supposed to hate me. He had not yet been taught that because I am different, that he should be afraid of me and assume that I am particularly evil. No one had yet told him that I'm not really also to be considered a human. And because he was still unstained by humanity's deep desire to destroy itself by hating one another, he still knew the truth. The truth that we are all created equal.
Yes.
And that our differences is what helps this fallen world still hold some beauty. No, he only wanted to know if I had been living up to my name. I didn't blame the little boy for doubting, and I simply replied to his curiosity. Well, in a way, young man, you are quite right. I am either both a doctor and a king, or I am neither.
Yes, sir. That's right.
You see, friends, it is not our job to heal, and it is not our job to reign. I can only study, live by, and uphold the teachings of the one who does and can heal and reign. And let others know that the great physician, the King of Kings, is quite alive and real today. In fact, we all have that responsibility. Though we are all beautifully different, one of our similarities as humans is that we all, regardless of race or creed, are responsible to offer the same love and generosity that has been offered to us, regardless of race or creed. If you are white in this room today, your job is to love. If you are black in this room today, your job is to love. If you are some shade of pink in this room today, because you spend too much time in the light of the sun, you have not dodged your responsibility to love and bear that greater light of that greater sun. No matter what color or shape you appear in, if you are not choosing love and kindness, then you are not living up to your name.
That's right.
Humans, made in the image of a loving God.
Yes, sir.
I'll close with this. History has taught us that this task, which belongs to each and every one of us here, is quite difficult. But I can tell you with great certainty that if you walk out of this place today and treat another human being with disrespect, you have failed to do the job that you were made for. And it does not matter how they treated you. Amen. Amen. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we'll walk hand in hand someday. Now, let us jump to 1861 and see how our boy Jim is doing. Now, shh. You best be quiet. You don't want to get him caught. there? I ain't afraid you show yourself. William?
It's all right, Jim. It's me.
So this is how it's gonna be, huh? Your father says you after me?
My daddy don't know I'm here.
Bull! Who's with you?
Nobody's with me. Nobody followed me.
What are you doing here, Will? You came all this way just to say goodbye?
I wanted to come with you.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard of. What are you thinking? You could get us both killed.
I thought maybe I could help you.
Not unless you got a rowboat in your pocket.
I don't. But I brought some money.
For me?
For us.
For us? Well, you can't come with me. Are you crazy?
Where you going?
You see that house at the top of the hill across the river? That's John Rankin's house. Moses said that when the light comes on, it's the signal that it's okay to cross and go up.
Who's Moses?
You know, the general, Harriet Tubman. She was heading the other direction when I came up on her. Didn't notice her until the barrel of a gun was at the tip of my nose. Nigga scared me to my grave. Anyway, she told me about John Rankin and the Underground Railroad. She said she could word to Mr. Rankin that I was coming.
Well, how are we gonna get across?
We ain't getting across. I'm gonna have to swim for it.
There's chunks of ice in that water. We'll freeze to death.
Ain't no water so cold anymore. And drowning ain't down enough to keep me on this side of the river. It's the Ohio or the Jordan. And I'm going tonight.
Then I'm coming with you.
I told you, you can't come with me.
I want to. You're my friend.
And what happens with me when they find you? What happens when you decide to go home and see your family? The only place in the world where we can be friends is this big. And I can't live there.
It ain't like that everywhere.
Well, it's like that where you belong.
Where I belong? My daddy thinks I'm weak. Makes me hurt people who ain't done nothing wrong. I can't sleep at night because they got reason to hate me. And I see no problem with them. You're the only friend I have in this world. And now there's talks of a civil war coming on. What if they want me to fight? What if they expect me to be brave?
I still don't know what I'm gonna do with you. What, we just supposed to go walking around Ohio?
Don't you remember? I'm real good at hiding.
Yeah, I guess you are.
Maybe you could teach me.
Teach you what?
How to be brave. How to give life instead of taking, even when I'm afraid of losing mine. How to treat people right.
I don't know how to do any of that, but if you're really ready to run away and never go home again, we can find out together.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Maybe Mr. Rankin can teach us.
Yeah, maybe.
The lights on.
Let's go. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Said every tribal nation, English, American, Jamaican, and Asian and Asian, Europeans and Africans and all of creation, get on your knees in supplication over this frustration.
That without love, our train will never leave the station. But there's a complication.
Our unwillingness to resist the big temptation.
We've been singing a solo, and all along the song before us was a chorus.
And they can't ignore us when we sing.
People come and people go. Treat them like you want them to treat you. You know the ends we seek is unity out on the street. And so let's join our hands and shout. We'll break the bread together now. Let's go. Let's start it here and now. You and I, here and now.
And to all the bullies on the schoolyard, trying to pull a card, treating people like they're underneath your feet, but you've been listening to the wrong voices, making negative choices, tell you now you're gonna wake up to the beat.
When you've been going around picking fights, tell yourself at night.
Everybody hurts, so it must be alright.
The world will chew you up and spit you out right on the ground.
What goes around comes around. It's time to change up our sound and sing.
People come and people go. Treat them like you want them to treat you. You know the end we seek is unity out on the street.
And so,
let's join our hands and shout. We'll break the bread together now.
let's go.
Let's start it here and now. You and I, here and now.
One love, one heart, one mind, one reason to combine on the side of the line. I know we like to act like everything is just fine, but I've only got time for maybe one more line to say that love costs everything. But it's worth the investment. Kindness doesn't cost a dime. You and I can decide to be the cure. I know that sometimes the outlook seems bleak, but our means must be as pure as the ends that we seek.
People come and people go. Treat them like you want them to treat you. You know the ends we seek is unity out on the street.
And so,
let's join our hands and shout. We'll break the bread together now.
let's go.
Let's start it here and now.
You and I, here and now.
Thank you all very much. Cass, why don't you come on back out? Another round of applause for Cass. Thank you so much. Well, if you could stay for a few minutes, we'd love to hear some responses and some reactions that you may have or answer any questions that you may have for us. I'd like to start by introducing ourselves. I'm Terry Weber. I'm the artistic director of the Word Players, and I directed the play that you saw today.
I'm Amy Ruby.
My name is Joseph Brown.
I'm Louis Stavros.
I'm the old man of the group, Cliff Justice.
I'm Lee Banks.
This is the 13th performance that we've done in the last 2 weeks. Our first performance was 2 weeks ago today. This is and we've, of those 13 performances have been in six different East Tennessee counties. And before the tour is over on Tuesday, it'll be over in about 48 more hours, we will have played a total of 8 different counties. So we've been very blessed, very privileged to be able to take this story into all kinds of different areas of East Tennessee with different demographics. Most of the performances that we're doing in the other counties are for middle schools and high schools, but we've also had community college audiences. We've had elementary school. We had the other day we played from first graders through 12th graders at a private school, and then we've also had audiences like this for the general public. So we would love to know what your number one takeaway is from what you saw today.
Y'all so quiet.
Change is ongoing. Change is ongoing. Change.
Yes.
Right.
Recognize it?
Yeah.
I would just like to say that everything is not what it seems to be, and I love the twist that you guys put on it with the young man, how he was friends with his friend no matter what. He was willing to stand beside his friend no matter what. And so I think we all need to know that there is some area that's just not black and white. There is an area in between, and so I appreciate that, and it made my heart move.
So that relationship between Will and Jim, the special relationship, and one that would have been unexpected during the 19th century. Yeah, thank you. You guys want to talk about that at all, in terms of what building that relationship was, or playing the scenes the way they were written?
I mean, it really is just a reminder,
still some bigoted people in the world, you know, stuck in this old kind of mindset. But there are people out there who genuinely love one another, you know, despite our differences. You know, and it's just a beautiful reminder of that. That you know, even back then, you know, it was that way then, and it's still that way now. You know, there are still people who love regardless of anything.
Yes, here in the front.
I love how you brought out that change takes people. It doesn't just happen on its own. People have to work to change stuff.
And not just black people. Blacks, whites, everyone. We all play a part. You see, we're all up here, different backgrounds, ages, and we all did this production together. So it's the same with the change that you want. It takes us all. You remember back in the civil rights times, there were a lot of white people that died on freedom rides and trying to help black people vote, helping people on the Underground Railroad. So it's, like she said, it's ongoing.
Yeah, but the narrator's text, does resonate. You know, time. What is it? Time lets things change.
Yeah, time lets things change, but it's people that have to decide to change.
Yeah, I think that's you're responding to it. Yes, ma'am.
You all seem so musically talented. Y'all can sing, you know, and y'all are doing really, really good. I love the different songs, like the spirituals, and then to the rap. I mean, you know, to me, I'm sure at the end, a lot of the young people were really into it. But I was just fascinated about the musical, how you all managed to go back and then to the present with the music, and everybody had rhythm.
Shouts out to the playwright Ethan Norman. He plenty of times I was able to speak to him. One of his biggest musical influences was the '90s era of hip hop. And so, without trying to lean too much on that era of hip hop, he tried to make something that was just as attention grabbing for younger audiences and for the children and young adults today, while making sure to still speak what mature audiences want or need to listen to. So yeah, he decided to do that, and of course, with the spirituals and Tomorrow was a complete original that was just a blend of everything. So, but other than that, yeah, Ethan, it was just he was ready to take this musical challenge on, and hip hop was something he was feeling the whole entire time. So.
And I agree with you. As important as the story is, I really love the mix of the music. I was a little old for the hip hop, so I was excited to be involved and be able to get some of that hip hop going, along with some of the musicality of it. I love the variety of the music in the show as well. I'm glad you noticed that.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, we had seen Mama's Kitchen, and so it's this contemporary Mama's Kitchen versus a historical, but having the whole familial tie, and you're marvelous. We really, really enjoyed that. But I think that's wonderful, is that it's historical and it's familial, but it's also teaching people, and Mama's Kitchen kind of had that same thing, not to let a family heirloom die. So I just applaud the playwrights in both of those for.
Thank you. Yeah, for those of you who might not be able to hear, she was referencing a play that we did earlier this season called Big Mama's Kitchen, which Malik starred in that show as well. And that was a contemporary story of a young man whose grandmother had died, passed on, and he was trying to figure out how to carry on her legacy. A young man of color, and coming back to his home, small town Mississippi home, after having been away for a long time, and trying to carry on his grandmother's legacy. So, so there was we had that sort of more contemporary 21st century. And Malik, did you see any similarities at all in working in that show, which was a completely different kind of comedy, as opposed to this sort of edutainment kind of piece? But any anything that you can see between them?
I can pull up the similarity is like, like Will and Jim, being as close as they were. Like, and then the last show, Jasper and Albert,
Right.
They were pretty much, brothers and whatnot,
Right.
Like race was never, their differences was never a thing in their minds, to them, And so it just goes to show that, we can be, family, love one another without having that obstacle of, oh, I'm black or white, or, I'm this, you're that, we could just, let go of that egoistic kind of thinking or whatnot, that, love, can be very strong between everything.
Great. Yes, ma'am.
To build on Big Mama's Kitchen, I saw it advertised, when I was looking through your schedule for Black History Month. Is that going to be presented again?
Big Mama's Kitchen? We don't have any plans to remount that one anytime soon, but it's possible that it could be done at some point in the future, but we don't have any plans to remount it anytime soon.
Thank you.
Yes?
I was going to ask the gentleman that played Master, you really played that part authentically. I wonder if that was something hard for you to do, or how did you prep yourself that because you really stepped into that, from a white man's perspective, I was like.
Thank you. That's a good question because one reason actors like to act is because they like to portray different people. And of course, when you try to get into a different character's role, you've got to find a motivation. Why would they be saying these words? And then, it's kind of fun to be somebody different, a lot. But I took this role not knowing what the role was. And then when I read it, and I turned to my wife and I said, I have to say these things, and I don't feel very comfortable with saying these things. So I had to really, grasp that and think, well, how am I going to do this? So the first thing I did first time we met, and I met Malik, first thing I did was apologize to him. I said, I don't like this. This is not the kind of character I want to play. But, I want to do my best for the character, but because it's an important story. But no, I wasn't at all comfortable with playing that role. Thank you.
You played it well.
Scary.
Thanks. I think.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
One more question. Where are you all from, and what kind of theatrical experience have you all had? Because I'm gonna give you all Academy Awards.
Malik, why don't you start? Where are you from, and what kind of theatrical experience have you had?
I was born in Louisville, Kentucky. Lived there until I was about 7, and then moved to Indiana. And then when I was about 13, moved here. And so I lived here until I was about 20. Moved to Memphis, lived there for about 3 years, and then moved back here last year. So yeah, around. But yeah, and when it comes to theater, I've been acting since I was about 8 years old. Doing from being in chorus and doing plays and things in elementary, middle, high school, competitive theater, and then after that I've done quite a bit of shows with a lot of local theaters around, and even branching out to some television and hopefully film one day. Wish me nothing pregnant, but yeah, so it's been a little while going, so yeah, about 17 years if the math is right.
Originally, I'm from Southwest Ohio, and I first started doing theater in the 8th grade, and I really fell in love with it. I did theater all through high school, and got involved in and helped start a community theater in our hometown, and did a lot of theater. But then I wound up getting involved in the restaurant and bar industry, and theater dropped by the wayside because you're working. You can't go to rehearsals, you can't do performances. So for, 30, 35 years or so, I never even thought about theater. And then the Word Players came to our church several years ago and put on a performance. And I'm like, holy cow, I really, really miss being in theater, and wow, I'm not in restaurant business anymore. I didn't even think about that. So I actually talked to Terry and I said, I'd like to get involved. And so they had auditions for a play coming up, and I went and auditioned and got a part in that. And I've done several things with the Word Players and a few other companies over the last 6, 7, 8 years. And just love it. Thank you.
So yeah, I'm from here, Knoxville, born and raised, always haven't lived anywhere else, and been acting basically since I was 6, so 10 years. A lot of the stuff with the Word Players because they're awesome. All of their shows are so fun. I'm free.
I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, born and raised, and I made my way here to Knoxville after college around 2019. And as far as acting, I'm very new-ish to it, about 2-3 years more or less. Still a newbie, and I've only done small shows here and there, but I got involved with the Word Players through an improv section of theirs, and then Terry asked me, hey, come do a Black History show with us around 2020. Yeah, 2020. So, which was a very hard beginning of the year, but I managed to stick with it. Here I am.
Let's see. This production is actually my first non-musical. I have done several productions at the Oak Ridge Playhouse. I lead worship right over here at OBC. I've sang in church probably since I was about 10, 12. Yeah.
Well, we will have a chance to continue talking to the actors downstairs if you want to come and. Oh, you have a question? Sorry,
Yeah,
I don't want to cut the
question.
pastor off. But this will be the last question.
You played the role of Martin Luther King.
Yes, sir.
The sermon you delivered was basically love. King had a struggle with his goal of nonviolent resistance. If you researched into his sermons as opposed to the opposition, not from the white community, but the black community, the young man earlier on, when you were talking with Mama, what do you simply do nothing? What would have been King's response in that moment?
Yeah, in my opinion, I think King still would have, even though it was a struggle, still would preach love. But he would find some way to use his energy that he has towards the situation to teach him how to love someone through that. It's really hard, I think, for a lot of us to, when something bad keeps happening over and over and over, and like you said, it gets to the point where you just really sit there and do nothing. First thing you want to do is hop up and do something physically with it. There's this instinct. You want to show outrage. But with MLK, he took what Jesus said to heart, knowing that it was going to be the most difficult thing to do.
And
Like,
it's like,
yeah, and it's like there was a saying once when during 2018, and a guy made a skit back when everyone was marching and speaking on the situations of Philando Castile, Eric Garner, and those who lost their lives during incidental situations between African Americans and police officers. And he said, no one's going to get anything done until someone loses their life, until someone decides to sacrifice themselves to change something. And then he was having a duality in that video. You had one person who wanted to be violent, but you had another person who wanted to do nonviolence. And he said, we still have to love someone. even when it hurts, you still gotta live. So I think what MLK would have done is he would have saw that young man and looked him dead in his eye and told him, it hurts, but we welcome our enemies with open arms. We help them learn to love.
So I think the actors will be downstairs. If they want to continue speaking with them, that'd be great. And Pastor, can we dismiss the folks to the fellowship hall?
One of us can lead you down there, but as I said, go out the store and keep turning left. And that has no political reference whatsoever. But you'll find some food at the end of your journey. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.